Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day or night in Jesus. The Christian Art King James Study Bible. I've been admiring what Christian Art has been doing in the realm King James space. Absolutely unbelievable for high quality, beautiful looking Bibles in an affordable price range. They are hitting a sweet spot, and this is no exception. And this has Joel Beeke, I think is how you say his name. It may be Beeke, it's B-E-E-K-E, who does a lot of Reformed writings, Puritan writings, has his own little publishing house, which I've enjoyed some of his books. I've actually done, I think, a review of his books. I'm not Reformed, but that's a confessional Calvinistic, basically, is Reformed. But look at this Bible, getting back to the quality of it. 2 ribbon markers. I did want to mention on the front, it actually stands out. It's not just printed on the front, but all of the roll, scroll, and all this. Yeah, Dr. Joel Beeke is a general editor, professor, and president of systematic theology and homiletics at Puritan Reformed Theological Seminary. And even things, and I appreciate Sister Waldron zooming in and out on this, like the introduction pages. Just really well done, nice paper. And yeah, I'm surprised. And now, I'm just going to tell you too, I don't know really what the retail of this Bible is. I got it off Amazon, I think, for $19.99, which I was really shocked by that. The large print's like $49.99. Now, it's kind of a larger study Bible. It's not huge, but it is larger. Man, it just stands out. Christian Art Publishing. Thank the Lord, God has raised them up to do Bibles. And so previously published as the Reformation Heritage KJV Study Bible by Reformation Heritage Books, which I've got a review of that here on the channel. So it's got a list of articles. I'll show you that. It's just really packed. I don't even know how else to say it. It's just packed, filled with information. Now, one thing I noticed, not coming from Zondervan or Broadman Holman or B&H as it's called, or Thomas Nelson or a Tyndale, that the prints printed in China, it doesn't really have the comfort print kind of deal going on. So there is that, but it's good print. It's readable print. And we'll get to that in just a few moments. It's got a welcome, God has spoken. I agree with that. Reading the Bible experientially. That was by Joel Beeke, general editor, was God has spoken. King James Version, it's tradition, text, and translation. I think Christian Art, the head of them is trying to do like an updated ASV. I've done some videos on that. Here's something else that every so often you come across one of these kind of meme things. Like you can take a picture of that and send it out to a group on your phone. So, I mean, that's kind of cool right there. No doubt about it. Let me let you take a look what it looks like without the slip cover. Here's what it looks like. Just really well done. As far as size, it's about the same size, approximately. If you're acquainted with a Life Application Study Bible, it's approximately that size. King James 2, Premier Study Bible, which we highly recommend, obviously. Apostolic Study Bible. It's somewhere in that size range. So let's flip over here to introductions. Now the introductions is just really good. Now there's an introduction to the Pentateuch and then an introduction to Genesis. Now I have not checked out every introduction. I'm a big introductions guy. I would say that a large portion or a certain portion anyhow, my biblical knowledge came from reading introductions of study Bibles, like the Open Reference Bible and various Bibles, because you can learn a lot in the introductions. And this is no exception. But as far as conservative, most everything I've ran across in here has been conservative. Now just know that it's coming from a Reformed viewpoint, which again is basically Calvinism with a confessional update. It's not just like the 5 points of Calvinism, but then they would actually, like for example, the 1689 a Baptist confession or something, they would actually confess that, say we agree with this. So extra biblical revelation. No, I'm just joking. That's what Pentecostals get accused of. So I always like to just share. Now let's make sure that you're being just and equal here. And we understand about creeds. Please, nobody needs to write me a mean comment about creeds. We understand. Done a lot of videos on creeds. But so it's basically basic study Bible setup. You have the Bible, and then you have commentary underneath. And this really, that goes back hundreds of years, not even just in the 1800s, but like Jewish commentators. A lot of Jewish commentators that I've ran across from like the 1500s, they would have the Bible in the center and comment all around it. This, you have like a full page. You'll run across some of that. And you've got listings of these articles where they're found in the front. That's always a good handy dandy thing. So as far as print size, here's the Fall of Man. I don't, and it may be listed somewhere. I did not see it, but I'm guessing it's 8-ish to 8.5. There's almost no ghosting, which is tremendous, but it's smaller print. The notes look like, to me, a little darker print, but let's say the text itself is 8.5 to 8.75. The notes are about 8, which I like. It creeps me out sometimes when people have the notes in bigger print than the Bible text, because it's like, no, we want the Bible text to be preeminent. And it looks like the articles are going to be somewhere maybe even in between the notes at the bottom as far as print size and the text at the top. Gold, which doesn't stand out much, but gold, like chapter and verses, gold, they're in gold. No references. That's not a center column, side column, bottom column, single column. It doesn't have references. So if you're looking for references, this would probably not be the Bible for you. But if you're looking for commentary from a pretty conservative, maybe even a Reformed, but I'm not Reformed, and I get a lot out of Bibles like this, because it's like, Brother Wilson and I joke a lot that Bethlehem is 6 miles south of Jerusalem, and it doesn't matter what faith tradition says this. So there's a lot of things, customs, Jewish customs, what they wore in Jesus' times, the height of Mount Hermon, ton of stuff are the same, and that's what you can use. Okay, so God's name, a really good deal with God's name. It is not red letter. Now, I will tell you, they must have a lot of articles, because every page I've turned to has a full page article. Like, this is God's immutability. One thing that some of you may be interested in, some of you may not, it doesn't have any in-text paragraph headers or at the top of the Bible either. It's usually either or proposition, that if you have at the top of the Bible, a lot of times you won't have an in-text. Sometimes they have both. Sometimes it'll have some of your classic, it'll have the chapter, and then underneath the chapter it'll have like a outline of the chapter, and it'll have that. This has none of those three things. Top header, in-text headers, between the chapter and the beginning of verse 1, just doesn't. It's going to have commentary, introductions, and notes, full page. Now, I'm getting some with no full page deals. But man, it just, like, look at this Proverbs, how it's done in gold. It's just the elegance the Bible deserves. This is God's book, God's words. And so, yeah, it's incredible. Now, one thing before we did the video, I went over the Bible and I forgot to go after Malachi. So let's do that now and see if there is any goodies between Malachi and Matthew, because in maybe close to half the study Bibles, either side of half, there's a ton of stuff there, and a lot of people never get it because they don't think to look there, and unless you're reading the Bible through, you just never find it. I've made so many faux pas doing these Bible reviews before. I was thinking of one. There's a Day of the Lord. I need to read that because I want a good understanding of the Day of the Lord. It was like minister's Bible, funerals and all this, and had a thumb imprint. And I was like, why is that thumb imprint there? And I did the review. And then I had a viewer say, well, that's where the study helps are. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was just misdone. And that's why I got it cheap. Okay, so between the testaments, what happens? Behold, I will send Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, and he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to children. Malachi 4, 3, and 4. It looks like, or maybe that's 5 and 6. But anyhow, well done. It's one of those, you know, voila, Michelangelo kind of things. So it's just one page front and back on what happened. The New Testament, introduction to the Gospels. The time is fulfilled. The kingdom of God is at hand. Repent ye and believe the gospel. And it has, again, a front and a back. Let's look at like Matthew. Let's just read the authorship. The Gospel according to Matthew does not exclusively credit the Apostle Matthew with authorship. Some have questioned the long-standing tradition that Matthew is the author of the Gospel, bearing his name. Many contemporary scholars believe the Gospel is a late composition, on and so forth. There's no good reason, however, to believe that this traditional accreditation of Matthew as the author is not accurate. Internal evidence alludes to Matthew's authorship. So that's been my experience, is it's very conservative. I was reading, what did it say about Mark 16, 9 through 20? It said, no, it should be in there. It gave the reasons why people think it shouldn't. And then the date, it says, you know, Matthew's gospel is coded in the late 1st or early 2nd century in the writings of Ignatius, the Didache, Polycarp, Epistle of Pseudo-Barnabas, Testimony of Papias is cited in Eusebius' writing. Some of these references Matthew is quoted with as much authority as the Old Testament. Given the prophetic content of Matthew 24 and 25, it's certain that Matthew was not written after AD 70. Really appreciate that. Again, it's not red letter. Boy, look at this. So at the end of Revelation has Surely I Come Quickly, and another one of these beautiful things in Study Helps has the Beatitudes beautifully. How to live as a Christian. Come to me, all you that labor, heavy laden. So look at this. And so it's just got full page little articles. We did that in the Premier Study Bible. What a great study Bible the Premier turned out. I thank God for it. I did a review on the Apostolic Study Bible, and people thought I was doing it like in competition with Premier. I'm not. It probably just didn't come out right. And we had just met with Thomas Nelson. Thomas Nelson may have been a little upset that they weren't able to do the Apostolic Study Bible, and so they may have told us stuff about dog leather and stuff, maybe, that I passed on to viewers, and that tended to become the focus instead of the review. But there was a lot of stuff in the Apostolic Study Bible. A lot of good. Psalms real good. Some of the articles real good. But man, some of it was not good. Reading the scriptures, why and how to pray, fleeing worldliness. Look at that. Spiritual desertion, honoring your parents. Now look at this, being a Christian grandparent. See, I appreciate all this. We need to be teaching all this in our churches. 20 centuries of church history. I was looking through this. I like it. Go into all the world. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. First century. So it's one page of 20 centuries of church history. Now, I would come from a tradition much like the Baptist church, believe it or not, that we would be the trail of blood. We would be outside of this. And then it has, which confession? It has the Nicene Creed, the Athanasian Creed, the Belgic Confession. That's how when I eat too much, I feel like the Belgic Confession. Please don't take offense to that. The Heidelberg Catechism, that's again when I eat too much, they do the Heidelberg maneuver on me. No, I'm just joking. The Canons of Dort. Dort, that's how you insult people. They're a Dort. No, that's a good thing too. Some on the King James Version. Westminster Confession. It's what makes one reformed, is they do Westminster, they confess these things. Man's chief end is to glorify God and enjoy him forever. Oh, that's good. Westminster Shorter Confession of 1647. That is for people that are challenged in their height. The shorter, here's the larger, that would be mine, the larger confession. And so then, we have another one of these beautiful things. Read the Bible in a year, and Robert Murray McShane's reading plan, which I thought was good. And then it has, I'm just going to show you what I mean about these little things. I mean, I just think that's just gorgeous. And we haven't got to it's not really a very exhaustive concordance, but it is nice print for a concordance. A lot of times even giant print Bibles will have some 6-point print concordance that is minuscule, and it's like, could you do a little better there? So that's good. It gives me a little bookmark here, which I'm just leaving that in here. Here's, let me just show you the print size. I do appreciate Sister Waldron zooming in and out the print size of the concordance. So it's not a huge study Bible. It's good size. I was comparing it with a large print earlier, and it's smaller than the large print for sure. So let's see how many pages this is. The concordance, moneys, weights, measures, concordance. Great weights and measures, several pages, which is odd, but it's thorough. And see, it's in gold, so it's hard to see. 2111 is where the concordance starts. I saw it had remnant Bible maps in there. Has a notes section with several pages of notes, for you to write with lines. Looks like basic, 26 line paper, acknowledgments, baptize all nations. So 2111 to 2137. So it's only a 26 page concordance. So you're not getting this for the concordance. Little map section. It looks like the basics of the Nelson Zondervan maps, but it's not identical. And it looks like it's only 8 maps. Let's see, there's 2 maps on this one page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if you do the 2 on the one page. And the World of the Patriarchs, that's a very good one because it gives you the entire Arabian Peninsula. So it's 2,100 pages. Let's see what it looks like compared to the Henry Morris Study Bible. Appreciate those that have endured to the end. So it's a little bigger than the Henry Morris, and I consider the Henry Morris a pretty good size study Bible. It's probably not quite as thick though, and I don't have my ruler out to see. It is a little taller. It looks like it's about the same in width, but is the breadth. Yeah, it's very obvious the Henry Morris is bigger breadth. And the ribbon markers are decent. They're not real thin. They're not thick either. They're not wide, and they're both the same color, and they're both diagonal cut, and it looks like maybe one is about a 1/2 inch longer than the other one. Make sure I'm pulling or 1/4 inch anyhow. That's good. One last thing I want to check out here, make sure it is Smythe sewn, and it is in fact, I'm in Exodus and it's laying flat, which is incredible. For hardbacks to be coming with ribbon markers, Smythe sewn, to pay $19.99 for this, I mean, you know, I would say buy them and pass them out to your community, but I would disagree with some very significant doctrines in here. But like for Bible study, people who study the Bible, as long as they understand the caveats, theological perspective, what's not to like? I mean, unbelievable. Appreciate Christian art and CA. God bless. Talk with you later. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.